What's up, everybody? Brothers B-Max78, aka Brandon. Today we're gonna play some more Forza Motorsport IndyCar Series multiplayer. I've just been enjoying this. Played a little bit last night with some ovals. Some of the ovals are tougher than others. Like Homestead was really tough because that's not the type of banking they normally do. But it's a short oval. I did Daytona, which is super fun. I'm gonna do Indy for the first time. I think they go kind of back and forth between doing road courses and Indy stuff or ovals, so it actually kind of balances out the understanding of what you're trying to do. Um, it's so much fun though to see them really embrace this, and I love it. So we're gonna do some ovals, a couple ovals, maybe get through like two or three. They're longer. They're about 20-minute races, so not too bad. We're gonna go. Let's go. I can go medium tires, and then yeah, go medium tires, do a couple practice laps. Just kind of get me some bearings. I would tune the car, but it's not really the tune. I don't really know much about the IndyCars. Like, oh, it's already. Oh, that's the rear. That's the rear bar. I want to look at arrow. Arrow's the thing I always look at. I'm gonna lower. I'm gonna lower it a little bit just to see what that. Okay. Then I'm gonna raise the back. Look. Ooh. Okay. All right, let's apply that. All right, let's go do a couple practice laps. We have 13 minutes. Practice laps and just kind of get my bearings with the car and. Let's go. Let's ride. Oh, man. Ooh. Man, oval racing is so tough. Alright, so that's a short shoot. Alright, that's a short shoot. Ooh, I went too low. I definitely went too low. Alright. Alright. Alright, let's go back to the pits. I'm going to change up the setup. I think I did that too tough. Yeah. Not the...
10 minutes till restart.
Alright. Let's go car tuning real quick. Wait, can I find... Wait, will it let me find a tune? Okay. Find a tune. There we go. Well, let me... Alright. That's no good tunes then. I might just have to lower... I'm gonna go back to where I was. Alright. Let's try that. Actually, I'm gonna take out... Be the long boy. Alright. Let's go. Car. I'm gonna go soft, and I'm gonna do 4 laps just because if we're gonna do it, I'm gonna need at least, well, 4. I'll do 5 just because I need 1 extra lap. Alright, and let's qualify. My race pace wasn't bad, it's just a little bit off. Make sure I have it up to the short shoot. Bird. Okay. Oh, I'm actually getting faster. All right, got faster.
Till race start.
There we go.
Good run out there.
40.063. That's amazing. That's good. That's very good. Okay. Okay. Still fifth. Not bad. We'll see how I do in the actual race, but let me set up my tires. Let's see, tires up. This is where I'll go medium, just because I think the mediums are going to hold up better. And then put all the fuel in. Oh, oh. Alright, so we got 3 minutes left. So I did a 40, yeah, 40, oh, that's not bad. 40 seconds. 40 seconds, 40.06. Actually good. I'm not gonna get into 30. I was almost to 39 ranges. If I got 39 ranges, that would have been really good, but still, I had a little bit. It's hard because you have to push, and I didn't really want to. I pushed pretty hard. There's still 2 minutes left, so I don't really. I did run very high. Really tried to run for speed more, but you also need the cornering. So the cornering, I would probably do a lot more downforce and just do the more downforce at the bottom, the back, but I didn't. So we'll see. We'll see how much. I don't know. I'm looking forward to seeing how this ends up, but I'm kind of nervous. Well, nonetheless. Maybe if I stay in the top, if I get in stay in the top 10 for the whole race, that'd be good. But I don't know. I know I'm gonna have to definitely pit once for fuel, and then at least get another set of tires. But that'll probably be halfway through, hopefully, if that. Maybe. Hey Drew, how are you? You sound tired. No. Uh, no worries. You just did your voice. I was gonna say, I was gonna ask you, did you watch the direct for Donkey Kong Bonanza? Uh, yeah. They haven't confirmed that yet, though, which is actually kind of interesting. They haven't confirmed who's making the game, which is actually surprising. But most people assume it's going to be the Odyssey team. Yes. I I'm actually kind of surprised we got a direct for Bonanza because I thought when I heard the announcement a couple like last week, I was like, oh, they're gonna actually do a direct for Bonanza. Okay, are they gonna just do like a short thing to just kind of tell us what the game's like, or are they gonna actually go in depth? And they went in more depth than I thought they would have. hmm Yeah. But it's funny because if you look at Pauline's design, a lot of people are like, wait, this doesn't make sense with the timeline of events. And I'm like, well, it doesn't have to. But so I saw a video this morning, a little short on YouTube, was talking about how if you look at Pauline's clothes, they're the same clothes she wears in Odyssey, but they're more tattered until she shrunk back to a child size, which is like, okay, if that's the case, what's the actual story here? Did Pauline get turned young again and something happened, or what? It's kind of interesting if they're gonna ever tell that story. Mhm. Oh no, not at all. Yeah, it's on Kong. Yep. I was really impressed too. They actually gave the game a lot more depth with like the making the sculptures out of the rocks and things, and using the old 64, like moving Mario's face and stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, they're really just giving people a lot to do in this game. Uh-huh. I would think the destructibility might not tank the frame rate, but like make it run a little bit slower, just to do a bunch of destruction at once. But they probably, like you said, they probably optimized it where it's not going to do that. Oh. Mm-hmm. I could think it. I think there's a couple. I think there's a couple, but I can't think of the name. I can't think of the names, but I know what you're talking about. Where it will lower the resolution just to make sure the frame rate can be hitting a constant 120. Oh, okay. Okay, okay. Hmm. Hmm. Yep. Correct. I think the standard will be if you can have a game run at 1080 and if it can't hit the full 60, I think 40 would be that new standard. Somewhere in the 40s would be that new standard of like, okay, at least if it can hit 40 at a smooth 40% frame rate, that's gonna be better than running it at 30. Even Cyberpunk at 40 is not terrible because Cyberpunk's more of a shooter anyway, so it's not like it's gonna really take the shooter slash drive a little bit. Not like crazy. I do. Same. Same. I haven't played the DLC. I've beat the game like 3 times, but I haven't played the full DLC. I think the Switch version comes with the DLC as well, which is the Phantom Liberty. Yeah. Yep. I've been watching people play Mario Kart. I'm actually kind of impressed how Mario Kart's just running naturally, but also the fact that actually the multiplayer is actually not trash because the multiplayer is usually for 8. The multiplayer is okay, but not great. I was like, okay, the multiplayer is actually kind of nice. Oh, it's chaos. It's chaos. You don't. Some of those tracks are beautiful. Like they knew what they were doing with some of those tracks. All of them. Would you say it's one of the? I know people have said this before in videos I've heard. Is it one of the better Rainbow Roads we've ever gotten? In terms of just like. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Off-road. Yep. Yep. Oh, wow. Nice. Yep. Oh, yeah. A lot of characters, a lot of costumes, and it's weird because every costume's unlocked and it gives you a new character slot for that, just that costume. I'm like, oh. They'll update it. I think what people. Let you just pick the character and then pick the costume. Yep. Yep. Or in Tekken, I think it's the opposite way around. Before you pick the character, you press X, you get to pick the costume first, and then you pick the character right after. So you can do vice versa. Woo! Man, it's fast. No, it's not easy racing. That's yeah. Wall riding is kind of interesting because I don't know if you have to do something before you can wall ride. I think it's one of those things. I think this is one of the few Mario Karts I'm like, okay, they knew what they were cooking with this Mario Kart, and they knew to give people like that. This is probably the first Mario Kart, and it's gonna sound like a weird statement, but it feels like the Smash Ultimate of Mario Karts. It gives you a little bit of everything. And it's kind of like, okay, you kind of took some of the best stuff from all these Mario Karts and kind of put it together. With 8. Didn't work. Yeah, for DS, you had GameCube era, you had stuff that, yeah, it was hard. It was not easy when they tried it. It didn't really keep the thought. Funny, as we're talking, I'm racing an IndyCar on Indianapolis Motor Speedway, and this is not easy. As I'm going back, this speed is insane. They made an update where they added the Indy cars, so the Chevy and the Honda, and then they added like the Champions Cup and a couple other things, and they've updated this game a lot. It's just so insane. I'm driving the Honda version of the car. So, oh, I got the livery. I got Pelot's livery from when he ran it last year. It's the DHL livery, but it has the Pride colors on the side of it. On the chest. A couple of the cars are doing. The other car I did a McLaren, the black and orange. People have made cool liveries. Somebody did the Kyle Larson livery from Indy when he ran that at Indy. Somebody's done the Joe Newgarden livery. I've seen a couple Penske liveries. There's been a lot of different liveries. But people have actually. This update's actually really good. I have to give them credit. It's not something I would have expected. I forget how fast these cars can go. Like, I'm going 230 around Indy. These things can go up like 240. It's like, just, man. And it's funny. They gave us both versions of the aero kit. So we have the road course version and then the short wing version. Like you said, looking at the short wing version, I'm the behind the car driving. The short wing version is so weird. It just doesn't look like a rear wing. It doesn't even look like a rear wing. It just looks like a little piece of metal. I'm just like, yeah, this is. I see why they have to use this for over racing, because it just takes away all the downforce. Yes, in real life they're hybrids. In the game, they don't have the hybrid built into them. So they have a little tiny hybrid system where they can save energy and they put out the battery. I think they're going to get rid of... I think eventually they want to get rid of push to pass. I think that's one of their plans. Kind of like what Formula 1's going to do with the DRS system. With the new active arrow. No, if the active arrows are going to be interesting for Formula 1. The push to pass is only used on road courses. They don't use them for ovals. Yeah, I don't think you could ever get rid of it on road courses or street courses for IndyCar. It's kind of, without that, they can't really pass. I mean, it's gonna be August. I'm gonna get switched. That's gonna be. I don't agree with Chris fully. I'm like, I don't really think the Allied's gonna be interesting to me. Partially because one, I don't play enough. I do play enough Xbox games, but I don't play enough like Go. Let me make that make sense. But also, at least for the Switch side of things, at least for my Switch, I know I'm getting something good out of it, and I know I'm going to play it more often. If I had, and I might play it on the Go more, because I don't play mine on the Go now. But it's going to probably be August, my birthday. Scrap. Because I'll still be, I can find one easily, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out in July. Tony Hawk's supposed to be out at the same time period in July, so like we're getting a lot of that stuff now. I do think it's funny. I do think people talk about the weekly launch lineup, and I'm like, well, if you think about it now, we're about to get in July, and we're about to get about 5 games in July, including a mainline title for Donkey Kong. That's not bad. That's just about where we were going to be anyway. I think it's just kind of funny to me that, now that talk's kind of gone away because the console's so good that people are like, okay, y'all cooked. We can't be mad. not gonna be mad in the first place. You're gonna buy it anyway. Most people are gonna buy the Switch. It didn't really matter. Some people I know. Expensive. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I also think die down. Yeah. I think, yeah, I think the $80 more. Same. That's why I'm gonna get the bundle when it comes out when I get it in August. Mm-hmm. Probably bundle. But see, if you're gonna like, correct.
On the Homestead Miami Oval, no matter which line you take into the turn, be sure to exit as close to the wall as possible.
Mm-hmm. Yep. 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 Did you need the? Is that the $50 version or is that the $20 version? Yeah. No, for the for. Oh, you didn't buy it. Okay, okay. That's what I mean. Which Switch Online version did you get? There's that $20 version, which I. Okay, which is the 12-month. Which, okay. It's like 19.99, like 19 something. Oh, you bought the expansion plus the expansion. Okay, okay. I need the expansion. Breath of the Wild. Stuff you need it. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. The old stuff. Okay. Okay.
Two left.
Yep. Yep.
One left.
That's the other thing I will. That's the other thing I will do once the switch. Once I do get a switch to, I will upgrade to the $50 version just so I have the expansion and all the other stuff. I just haven't done it yet because there's no really point because I don't really need it right now. But I have the $20 version, which gives me everything for Mario
Well
Kart.
done. Currently P1 after qualifying.
That that was my big thing. But yeah, the $50. That's the other thing Nintendo did with their pricing, which I have to give them credit for. Even though the full year is $50, you get so much other stuff for expansion packs, GBA stuff, GameCube stuff. You have so much other content. It's like, okay, it's worth the price overall for the entire year. Yep. Yeah, I might go back and play one and two, just to see how it runs. That'd be. Yep. Oh yeah. Wait. You didn't finish. You haven't finished before that. Wow. And you said you had a GameCube and stuff. So I'm thinking like Galaxy 1 and 2. I'm thinking. Wow. Yeah. Don't really work anymore. Yeah. Yeah. I can't but I can't blame you. I can't I can't blame you at that point because he's funny. Because I had a GameCube and I have a lot of the GameCube games I played was like Zelda collection where I had Wind Waker, Majora's Mask, and Ocarina of Time all in one. I did. Did I touch any Mario stuff? Not really. I did touch. I think Tony Hawk at the time was on there. I touched a couple of, like small racing things, but nothing like insane. But yeah, like you say, once the 360 and the PS1 era kind of hit, that kind of like changed over. Yeah, for me as well because I went to the PS1 era pretty quickly after that. It kind of just let the GameCube in the dust. Outside of playing Smash and things to this day, you know. I'm gonna ask you this question. Yeah, Odyssey, which is the most current thing. Uh, Zelda is difficult. That's Zelda 1 and 2. That's Zelda 3. That's Link to the Past. Okay. Different beast. Correct. It's a different beast of the OEM. You did. But you know, it's funny to think about it, and I think it's always something I kind of think about now. Xbox has Game Pass. Switch has Nintendo Online. The one that's the weakest, and I have to say it surprisingly, is PlayStation's. Just because I think PlayStation is not as enticing outside of the older stuff. And the old stuff's great for PlayStation, but there's not a lot there. I think not in the sense of that, but I think the price to value of what you're gonna get based on each tier of the PlayStation stuff is more interesting if you go to the higher. If you go into, you have to go to the higher tiers to really get your money value. Unlike with Xbox and Switch, you can stay at the lower tier and still get a lot of value out of it. And I think it's just like there's not a lot of old history for places that you really want to go back to very often, unless you just love the history. I could be wrong. Mm-hmm. What? Yeah. Yeah. The catalog's solid. Yeah, the catalog. Black. We're getting into got a 4. We're gonna get a bunch. We're gonna. Yeah. The catalog. Correct. It's not in local business. Yeah. To do that. By the way, how's this? I'm streaming. How's the second race I get into? I crash after the first turn. People are This is Homestead too. It's not in. I'm online. It's not in Forza, but I just hate the first turn because everybody's like, just like bouncing or like we're doing a rolling start, so I'm like, okay, I know what I have to do. Kind of keep my line, keep my line. There go 2 cars went to the low side, 1 went to the high side, so I split the difference, get past them, and then I get knocked from behind, spin out. I'm like, what is going on? I don't really hate Forza Online. It's just kind of annoying. I don't. But I will say, break. Well, and the thing was, like, it's funny to me because I love how, you know, Forza does the thing of, like, each series does something different. So, like, NASCAR does a rolling start, IndyCar does a rolling start, IMSA does a rolling start. So it's fun to see that realized in the game, but also it's like, there's a little bit of spatial awareness. Like, I'm knowing when if I'm going to stand on my side, I'm looking around me, kind of knowing, oh, here's what's happening. I'm kind of have to be careful. But at the same time, and that's funny, I've watched a video, somebody talking about the update, and I don't think this will never be added to the game, but I think it's going to be funny if it ever did get added. They were like, he was like, they need to add blue flags, yellow flags, and all this stuff in multiplayer. I'm like, they'll never do that. Because the game, even with like something like F1 has the yellow flag system and the blue flag system. The problem is, for multiplayer, it doesn't really change anything. It doesn't force the pack to crunch up. It don't force you to stop. So it's not something you're going to just do on the fly. You can just barrel through a crash and nobody's going to care. Wait, you say you were playing Grid 2? Oh, okay. Is that the one? Is that the one that's about to go offline? One of the. What? I thought I saw. I thought I saw a story that's. Yeah, I thought I heard a story. Yeah, I thought I heard a story that said, I think it either was Grid or something was about to go offline. I'm like, didn't that just? Damn, that's only been online for like 4 or 5 years, maybe a little bit longer. And now it's just gonna leave the service. I'm like, that's odd. I know racing games are always weird. It's same like it's like with all car games have the same issue. They can't keep the license. Like I would be. I mean, you're paying that fee. And that fee is not cheap, I assume. Because, like, I'm thinking about when they put out the IndyCars to this game, I bet you it's Turn 10 is probably paying a fee, I don't know directly to IndyCar in that sense, but whoever owns the IndyCar license for, like, the cars and, like, the chassis and, like, the branding, like, you're paying a pretty heavy fee to get them in the game, and then you're just paying that fee out every year or so, which is even more insane. But yeah, I saw this story. I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. I mean, you could go off. Correct. I think you could go off branding, but if you go off branding, it looks kind of weird because I remember, what were we watching? Oh, I think me, Chris, and Dean were watching an anime, and Chris pointed out, oh, that's a Japanese Toyota. I'm like, oh yeah, it is, but it's not branded, so you don't know it's Japanese, you don't know it's Toyotas. Yeah, there's a couple things where it's like different, the branding's there, but you don't see it actually in the show. It's like, oh, that's so odd. I forget they can do that as long as you don't say the actual item. It's like, okay, you could go off branded, like you could do a fake in. Yep. Yeah, oh yeah. They have the money, they can just pay the license and get the real cars. Yeah. Yeah. Other cars. I think it's also kind of funny thinking about this game, like, what's going to happen to Forza Motorsport? This Forza Motorsport in like 5-6 years. Because how many licensed cars do you have? Race cars and just normal cars at that. And like, they took 1 and 2, right? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I don't think you can buy 4. I think you can't buy 4. I think you have to have them properly to buy them. That's why I'm actually kind of surprised for Switch Online. We're getting back Soul Calibur with Link in it, because I'm like, wait a minute, that got delisted from the Xbox store like a couple years ago, a long time ago, and I'm like, oh, they're re-bringing it back. So I'm guessing they figured out a way to bring it back without having an issue. Version of the game, right? Same with like GoldenEye, when Golden Guy came back, it was on Xbox and came to Switch because both versions had to be playable. Oh, to the GoldenEye people? Oh yeah, they probably did. Property. Yeah. MGM? I think it's MGM. I think it's MGM. Yeah, Amazon owns it as well. They have, I think they have joint partnership in owning it. I forget how that works. About what? I did see something about... Yeah, I heard... Yeah. So I heard this theory, not from her. I didn't hear this video. I heard from other people talking about this, and where basically with the ROG, what their next Xbox plan is ultimately with the next Xbox is that you can run Steam, you can run Epic, you can run whatever storefront and still play everything. But I was also like, one, that would just mean it's a tiny PC. Fine, cool, don't care. Correct, yeah, that's what I mean. No, that's what I know people are talking about. If it was the next Xbox, they can run all these storefronts, and I'm basically like, you're basically running a tiny PC tower at that point with a console. Yes, that's why. So that's what their plan. That's what their plan was when they were gonna do the Xbox handheld. They're just proprietary Xbox handheld, but they were gonna fix. Windows. Yes. Where it kind of bugs out when it doesn't know what to do. It doesn't. It doesn't. Oh, there's not. There's not a single benefit at all. But ultimately what Xbox is doing, and this is my just opinion, no facts on this at all. If you do the thing they're saying where they're gonna have all the storefronts on an Xbox, it pretty much de-incentivizes people, ultimately, to buy a PlayStation. Because then you can go, okay, I don't have to build it. They don't care. Yes. Reloaded. Yeah. But I think the thing. Yeah. So, I think what's going to be happening, and I think this is the other funky rumor. People are like, oh, they're going to get out of the game. They're going to get out of the console industry. I'm like, they can, but they're publisher fighting. E3 and PlayStation. Yeah. Now it's more likely they could. They could do. Yes, the no bucks ever. Correct. OG and Linux and yeah, all that. Steam Deck could technically have. Yeah. But see, Here's the thing. Crazy out there. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. I think for them, they will make more money. What they're going to end up doing, I think, is making more money off their software, owning all these. Yeah, yeah. That's the bigger thing, and I think that's the thing. I think most people have to remember. Sony just bought Activision Blizzard. Sony bought Bethesda a couple years ago, or Microsoft bought Bethesda a couple years ago. So they have to get return on investment on that. And I think that's going to be the thing where they'll just do a publishing role and then just keep out, get out of the console game completely. But with more power, they could actually get behind their games and actually help them optimize them correctly. That's it. Yeah. It's bad. It's a bad idea. Ooh. So we get, I think we get the next Xbox in about 3 years. That will be the last one. And then after the Xbox comes out, I think we either get an announcement within 6 months to a year, or within 2 years of Xbox pretty much saying, not fully saying it, but they're going to say it in a certain way, like, we're getting out of the we're getting out of the console game. We're going to mainly focus on software, but we're going to keep Game Pass and Play Anywhere and all that kind of stuff on the last console, the current console. But also, you can find it on TVs and stuff. We're going to work with manufacturers to make TVs and monitors that have Xbox integrated, and that will be what Xbox is going to be going forward. But I don't think they're going to fully say. They're not going to fully say they're going to get out of the console game. They're going to go say more or less, this will be like Xbox for now, but we might come back and make another thing down the line. Because that would just be weird if they said they were fully getting out of the console. Yeah, pretty much. That would be an interesting proposition, and at that point, I would just, I mean, at that point, I'm creating my PC. Yeah, probably. I'd be probably the PC, and then I would just have the power to run a lot more. Which, that'd be weird. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah, he mostly plays on PC.
We finished P10.
I finished. Works and does its thing. It's an interesting proposition because I don't think if you told a bunch of Xbox fans that, I think a lot of people would go, I'll just get out of gaming completely for the most part. I wouldn't get out of gaming completely. I would kind of balance out between playing on Switch, having a PC that's a little stronger, and then just kind of going bouncing back and forth. Because ultimately, the bigger thing too, if you couldn't play PC games with controller, then that would be annoying. That would be kind of my downside. But most games you can play with controller, so it doesn't really affect anything anymore. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sell the games and sell the software. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. There'll be somebody out there. So by MSI, and yes, and even, but 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 think about this. You've seen my main gear PC, and think about main gear. What if they got the license to build an Xbox version PC that can run Xbox games alongside the Steam and everything? The possibilities end is because ultimately Xbox can go, we can sell our brand and make it more profitable going to other places. Correct. Correct. And if you really, but if you really asked a bunch of people, if you got a poll of 100,000, 50,000, 60,000, maybe 100,000 gamers across streaming, PC players, console players, casuals, just a just a delivery of all these different things, I bet most of them would say, I'd be fine with that and I would just play on PC. And I think that's because PC's being kind of so anonymous to where you can play pretty much anything. It's not an issue. It's not an issue much anymore. And ultimately, most of your streamers are saying, most streamers I follow play on PC. They do have consoles. Some have. Most people have Switches. That's kind of normal. Uh, but even, I think even for... Yeah. But I think if other people, you ask other people, I think a lot of people would go PC because they can do the multitasking of actually working on their PC as well. So ultimately, about 800, about not like $900, almost $1,000. So you can about 35. Yeah, that's a that's the other problem with this conversation, because people are complaining about a $500 Switch. So, yeah. But see, they're probably doing all these interviews and things. They're not gonna really outright say anything, because they know if they did, stock's gonna crumble. People are gonna be kind of annoyed, and nobody knows what's actually going on. So they're gonna do these like small interviews that kind of off the record or on the record that have like little small hints behind them, like you say, with the lady, but nothing's out there outright. Nobody's saying anything outright that's actually gonna swing one way or the other. because because I think what happened when they did their direct, when they did their print showcase. Correct. You did the show. You you did the showcase, but you didn't want to go in that depth because if you did go in that depth, people will have too many questions that you probably can't answer right now. So everybody's confused. just to give you true. Oh, universe. They don't. They don't. Because their whole thing is to fix Windows. Their whole thing is to fix Windows and make Windows actually file. Nothing. 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 But let's say they fix Windows. Let's say they make Windows really strong and actually really viable. Then people are gonna be like, okay, you fixed Windows. No. No. If you get it to run well on the out. Oh man. Man. No, yeah, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah. It runs yeah. Yep. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. I don't know. I ultimately believe it's one of those things where I'm like crazy to think about they could fix Windows and make it better, but also it's not necessary for what they do. Yeah, I remember that. You told me a lot about. Yep. But it's not used. The, correct. Yep. So you basically, that's why I think they're. Yeah. It stands. Yeah. But I think that's the crazy part. I think they're trying to fix Windows to make it where it can run that fast, but also actually don't hurt the Xbox in general. But I think that's also kind of bad because I don't think you're really going to be able to fix both of those issues. You're not going to fix the Windows and make it where it still can run fast. That's impossible. But if you can, cool. If it does, cool. But it's not really going to help Xbox. It just makes it faster, makes it more computing power, it makes it boot up faster. It doesn't really have any other bearing on anything else. Yep. Correct. Oh yeah. That's why that's why if they ever made another Xbox, I would just upgrade to an X eventually. An X and have the X for the rest of the time. Because at that point I know an X will do me more over time than me buying the next greatest bigger Xbox, and then I would, which they probably aren't. Did you? So wait. I'm gonna ask this question, and I'm gonna ask this legitimately from you because I know you very well. Do you regret that purchase? Oh, okay. Okay. That's all. Yep. 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 Power, speed, yeah. Yeah. And at that point, you're getting into, yes, you're getting to low PC pricing, but also low laptop pricing as well. So you're at that point of like, do I really do that, or do I just get a laptop or PC? At that point, I would just go laptop or PC. At least you can. With everything, yeah. They're not gonna do that. They're not gonna do that. They're gonna wait till they're gonna wait for a bit because they just did the showcase. They're gonna wait for a year, maybe two, and then we'll hear something out of the grapevine. That's it. Like that's basically what's gonna happen because there's no point in saying anything else right now. They're gonna be cryptic, like you said. She was cryptic. She didn't really say much. That was the point. Just kind of have it out there because it was PR. It was probably a PR thing. It was probably a PR thing they had to do to kind of give people a little more. Correct. 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 Yeah. Probably. Yeah. So yeah. Balance. Correct. Oh yeah, super icky, but that's the point. We'll see what happens. It's gonna be a weird road next year, to the end of this year or early next year. We'll see how things pan out, because games in a space now where I think casual gamers aren't going to be a thing much anymore, and it's going to be the people who just love playing games and are going to spend that kind of money. But even then, at that point, I have better things to do, but also I'm going to still play the games I love, like Forza, which I'm playing now. Which you saw me play a couple rounds of that if you're watching on stream. Like, there's still things I would play, but I'm not going to touch everything. That's just basically it. Probably a PC, most likely. We'll see. I mean, it is a credibility. They won't. They won't. You know why? Because people will still buy it. That's the thing. People will still buy the software. Look at Nintendo stuff. Good example of that. Well, no. But you do have fans who love. Yeah,